Maheshwari, Sip Samatma, Sip Ashok Chotwani, Sip Raju, Sip Roop, Sip Atmatray, Sip Paratiyama, Sip Bharat Patel, Sip Ru Mataji, Sip Gautam, Sip Vijay, Sip Sagai Raj, Sip Bridget, Sip Kaumudi, Sip Sangam Gupta, Sip Gaurish. I hope we have got a clear call today. I hope we have a good connection, because I was just struggling to get the Wi-Fi organized. Sometimes Wi-Fi is Sip Sagai Raj. It goes out of our control. So, my dear friends, today's question, an interesting question, what I call root, the basic root of our discussion. What is the purpose? The projection of the question. This is the question. What is the purpose of life? Simple question. Looks like it's a very easy question. I was thinking, how can it be so easy? Who would like to go? What is the purpose of life? Why are you alive? Why are you on this call? Why are you breathing? Why are you eating? What is the purpose of life? Who would like to go?
Ravi, I like to go.
Yes, Dasi.
The question is, there's a cosmic drama going on.
Yeah.
Our life is nothing but a drama, a stage where we have to come and go.
Okay.
So therefore, one issue is this, and the other one is that you're not the body, you're not the mind, you're not the ego, you're that. I don't know whether I should continue or give a chance to somebody else.
No, what you're saying. No, so what you're saying is absolutely correct, right? You've said two very important things. So now, what is the purpose?
The purpose to know yourself,
Good.
to know your higher self, to be enlightened.
Yeah. So the purpose is to realize who am I. So the purpose is to, exactly. What you said is a very detailed answer, but it's a little tricky. So we are going to, let's stick on and see where we reach. Okay, we're just going to go a little forward. So who else? Dasi said something very profound. There's no doubt what he said is correct, absolutely correct, and he knows it now on his fingertips. He knows.
From you. Ravi, from you.
Okay. I am nothing. We all learn it from somewhere. We don't bring anything with us, right? Okay.
That's true.
So who else would go? Thank you, Dasi. What is the purpose of life, my dear friend?
Can I try?
Amitash, and then a lot of people. Amitash, please.
Shivoham Master. Master, I believe the purpose of life is enlightenment.
Good, simple answer. The purpose of life is enlightenment. But I'm not going to let you go so easily. I'm going to ask you, why is the purpose enlightenment? Why? The purpose is enlightenment. Why should I be enlightened?
Yes, the purpose is enlightenment because that is only permanent. Everything else is temporary and basically Maya. So that is why.
Okay. Your answer is right, with all due respect, Avitash. I'm just trying to make this interesting because it's such a simple question. And let me tell you, 99% people in this world don't know.
Yes, Master.
99% of the people in this world don't know what is the purpose of life. It's very funny. And they will all give you only one answer. The purpose of life is to be happy. You can go and ask everybody in this world and they'll only give you one answer. The purpose of life is to be happy. Of course, they'll say to earn money, to build a family, to be successful. They will tell you all those stories, right? But in fact, our second part of this discussion is tomorrow, which I will not reveal. They gave me two questions. We did one question for today and one question for tomorrow. Ashok Chotwani. What is the purpose of life, Ashok? Please unmute, Ashok. What is the purpose of life, Ashok Chotwani?
The purpose of life is to free from rebirth, sir.
Very good. Very good. The purpose of life, Ashok Maheshwari will endorse this. Ashok Maheshwari says, I have only one purpose. I want to be free from all this. The purpose of life, says Ashok Chotwani, is to be free from rebirth. To be free from rebirth, which means to be free from returning to earth in a rebirth. Okay, good. But I'm not going to let you all so easily. Please remember your questions. I'm going to take this a little bit forward. Bharat Patel. Bharat, what is the purpose of life?
Yes. The purpose of life is to be free from Maya by acquiring knowledge and remove our ignorance to what we truly are, get enlightenment, and realize to get Nirvana at the end of the death of the body.
Amazing. That is like a whole composite answer, right? Very good. Thank you, Bharat. And all of you are, bang on. But today we're going to have an interesting discussion, I can promise you. We're going to have a nice discussion on each of your questions. So, Samatma, it's not going to be so easy to accept everybody's got a different answer, if you see, but everybody's right. So, what is the purpose of life? Samatma.
Shivom, sir.
Shivoham.
So the purpose of life is to find out and understand the purpose of this birth. Why was I reborn?
Okay.
And then to transit through the triple suffering and get liberation and unification with it.
Very good. I thought you were saying the purpose of life. My favorite answer when somebody asks me, what is the purpose of life? I tell them the purpose of life is to find the purpose of life. Somebody asked me the question in one line. I say the purpose of life is to find the purpose of life. And Samatma said, no, the purpose, she went one step further. The purpose of life is to find out why this birth? Why was I born? And then to be free from this birth and this cycle on earth. Right? And all the suffering. Thank you, Samatma. Good answer. Kaumudi, Sip Kaumudi, Supreme Kaumudi.
Yes,
Follow.
so yes, the purpose of life is to attain the eternal truth, the true truth, and to be unified or to see ourselves as supreme immortal power. Like we all are one. We are all one energy. I think that is the purpose of life.
Good. You're saying something very meaningful. But see, all of you are saying, different things. Very different things. But how do we now put it together as what is the purpose of life? And today's call, before the end of this call, we should get up from this call saying we know the purpose of life. That is the objective. Before this 30 minutes is over, imagine getting the answer of what is the purpose of life in 30 minutes. It's a miracle to get the answer. But all of you are evolved. You are evolved, so you know. You already realize. So let us go to Vijay. Vijay Srani. What is the purpose of life, sir?
Happiness is the meaning and purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. This, of course, came from Aristotle, 2,500 years ago. We all do things so that we are at peace and are happy. So each one's story is a little different, but we'll come to know what really is the purpose of life. But I believe you have to live life fully and experience as much as you possibly can and live a full life.
So what you say is absolutely right. There's no iota of doubt in what you say. But I must tell you that the answer you gave is more relevant to tomorrow's question. They gave me 2 questions, I told you. So tomorrow, if you are there, please don't miss. The same question will come and we will discuss in more detail what you just said. Just to tell you, every human being is fitted with what is called a pleasure-pain drive. A pleasure-pain drive. Every human being wants pleasure just like he doesn't want pain. A human being wants to be glad, he doesn't want to be sad. Right from the time we are children, we are driven towards this happiness, and we want happiness and we don't want happiness. It is an essential need and want of a human being. And so what Vijay said is absolutely correct. But Vijay, the question today is one step more. The question is that the purpose of life? It is we all want to be happy. We no doubt every human being, I want to be happy, you want to be happy. Everybody on this call wants to be happy. Only a madman in a mental asylum may want to be unhappy. Otherwise, every human being wants to be happy. But the problem is, like Buddha said, nobody's happy. The problem is there's unhappiness, there's dukkha. How does a man cope with dukkha? And then it goes on further to get to the purpose. But thank you, Vijay. Interesting question. You brought a new perspective to today's discussion. Rekha, what is the purpose of human life?
Shivoham.
Shivoham.
Before my purpose was, the purpose was life was to know the purpose of life. Now it is to realize the truth of the life.
First, your purpose was to know the purpose. Now you have changed and said now you want to realize the truth.
Yes.
Very good. It is two different things altogether. I like your answer. Good answer. Earlier, the purpose was to find the purpose. And then when you start finding the purpose, you want to realize the truth. What is the truth? Thank you. Interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your Atma. We are going to get to this discussion. The discussion is not over. It's just begun. And I think we have about 20 minutes more today to discuss this. 20, 22, 25 minutes. Atmatray.
Yes, sir. Shivam, sir.
Shivam.
Sir, the four aspect, dharma, artha, kam or moksha.
You are giving Upanishad answer.
Please. The three aspect, dharma, artha, kam, I have completed. I want to moksha and help two people to get moksha.
Very good. Atmatra is giving the answer from the Upanishads. He is giving the answer from the scripture. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. This is called Purushartha. Purushartha means, for those who want to know, Purushartha as per the Vedas and as per the Upanishads, Purushartha means the four-step purpose of a human being. In fact, I've written a book. If some of you have not read the book, Bharat, you may want to pick this book. It's called The Four Quarters of Life. The modern Purushartha, I will send you the copy. The modern Purushartha. Purushartha means first we learn and then we earn. What Atmatra is saying is in today's world, people learn and they earn, and they 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 learn and they earn, and then they burn. And then they burn, and then they return. Atmatra. People learn and earn and learn and earn and learn and earn, but they burn and return, and again they learn and earn and learn and earn and learn and earn. And they burn to return, and again they learn and earn and learn and earn. They don't know what is the cycle. So in the ancient days, people said, in the modern days, people, you know what? What do you tell your children? What do you tell all your mothers and fathers? What do you tell your children? Oh, you come first in class. You come first in college. You get the first rank. You get the best job. You get, for what? For what must I come first in class? For what must I get the best job? For what must I be a millionaire? I'm going to leave everything and go. For what? Nobody asks that teaches the children the real meaning of life. We are just telling people, we are teaching our children to run a race and become an ace and get caught in the maze. We're all teaching our children the wrong things, my dear friends. We are teaching children just to run a race and become an ace and get caught in the maze. And then they don't die with grace. They don't realize the truth. So therefore, with that note, you've got so many answers today. Let us contemplate. Now let us have a discussion. What Atmatray brought a very fantastic, thank you, sir, Atmatray. I always say Paramatmatray. He brought such an amazing perspective. He brought the Purushartha. The Purushartha, these things, unfortunately, very difficult to read and understand, because you will go mad if you read one book like this, 1 year will be gone. But the Purushartha talks, I've converted the Purushartha into a book called The Four Quarters of Human Life. First we learn, and then we earn. And then we have to seek, and we have to learn we have to realize the truth and be liberated and united. The purpose of life, look at what Atmatra said. He brought a beautiful, interesting perspective, right? What do we do in the world today? All children, they learn, get a job, and they earn. And after you learn and earn, what are you doing? You're shuttling between learning and earning. Every day we are learning. Every day we learn something new. But why are we learning? Because we are earning. A man only wants to know how to make his investment. Wealth management companies. I get 100 calls from wealth management companies. I block the calls. The wealth management comes and tells me, I want you to invest 5 million here and 10 million here, and you'll have more rate of more ROI, return on investment. I tell them I don't want more ROI. I don't want your return on investment. I want peace of mind. I don't want return on investment. Because the moment I ask them a question, if there is more return, is there less risk or more risk? They say it's a common sense thing. If you want more return, there will be more risk. And I say, I don't want more risk. I don't want to lose my peace of mind. Jesus, in the Bible, it says, he said, what would it gain a man if he gained the whole world and lost his own soul? In the Bible are these words, what would it gain a man if he gained the whole world and lost his own soul? My dear friends, what is the purpose of life? The purpose of life is to find the purpose of life. What Vijay said is very important. We all want happiness. But how to be happy? How to reach that state of eternal happiness, seamless happiness? How to reach that state of peace? Peace is the foundation of happiness. How to reach that state of divine love? We don't know the meaning of love. We think we are attached to people and possessions. We think relationships are going to give us happiness, but we make relationships and we break relationships and we become unhappy. We don't know the purpose. What did Dasi say? Dasi said something very beautiful when he started the call. He said, this world is a show. We come and we go. Dasi started off the call with such a beautiful thing. He said, this world is not real. This world is just a show. We come and we go. And Dasi said one more point. He said, we are not the body. We are not the ego. We are not the mind. The purpose is to realize, who am I? My dear friends, Atmatraya said, my ultimate goal, I want to attain moksha. What is moksha? What is nirvana? How are we going to attain that? The purpose of life is to find the purpose of life. The purpose of life is to answer two important questions. Two very important questions. One, who am I? And two, why am I here? As long as we don't understand this question, we don't answer this question, who am I? We will just live and die. And we will look up at the sky and we will cry. Because when you don't know who am I, you think I am the body. That's why I said Dasi gave a great answer. If you think you're the body will get pain. If you think you're the mind will become miserable. If you think you're the ego, you will live with hate, revenge, jealousy. You will live with all these agony. What is the purpose of life? Let me try to understand. The purpose of life is to discover the purpose of life, is to discover who am I? Why am I here? Who asked this question? Samatma said, why was I born? Did I control my parents? Did I choose my parents? Did I choose my country? Did I choose my nationality, my religion, my gender? Did I choose my date of birth? I did nothing. Who caused it? Who decided my birth? Who brought me to earth? These are the questions that reveal the purpose of life. My dear friends, there is a purpose. There is a purpose. And like Vijay said, the purpose is to reach that state of not happiness, but to reach a state of ananda, to reach a state of nirvana. Vijay, that state of happiness which has no sorrow, which is the state of seamless happiness, which is, we are trying to become happy. You can't become happy. You have to be happy. Happiness isn't being. Happiness is, if you are going to become happy, then you will become unhappy. Because you become happy because of a person or a product or a place. And in the next moment, you become unhappy with the same person, the same product. And you get bored of the place. So what is the purpose, my friends, therefore? Whatever you said, all of you are right. All of you, everybody gave a right answer. I did not get even one wrong answer. But what is the purpose of life? The purpose of life is to live moment by moment in the consciousness of the truth, in bliss, joy, love, and peace. Can we live life moment by moment? We are jumping into yesterday, it's gone. We are jumping into tomorrow, it's not yet born. Can we live in the moment? We are unable to live in the moment. Our mind is making us jump from thought to thought. Are we able to live in consciousness? We are unable to live in consciousness. And why I'm telling you this is the purpose of life? Because when you reach this purpose of life, if you are able to live in Sat Chit Anand, then whatever you all said is achieved. If you live in Sat Chit Anand, you are happy. If you live in Sat Chit Anand, you are not the body, mind, ego. If you live in Sat Chit Anand, you attain that state of liberation. If you live in Sat Chit Anand, you realize the truth about life. That is Sat. Sat comes from the truth. If you live in the consciousness, you are free from misery and suffering. If you live in consciousness, you are not the ego, body, and mind. If you live in consciousness, you attain Nirvana because you will be liberated from this body. The purpose of life is to be in that state of consciousness. The purpose of life is to live every moment in divine consciousness. Can we be in that state of consciousness, that state of bliss? Can we be in that state where we don't have to recognize anything because we realize everything? We be in that state of consciousness where we don't need evidence because we already have an experience. You don't need evidence. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. You don't need evidence because you have something greater than evidence. You have an experience. Science wants evidence. A realized soul has experience. What is better? Scientists will never find evidence. But the realized being has got the experience, the anubhuti. Anubhuti, aparoksh anubhuti. Aparoksh anubhuti means you reach that state of experience. What experience? Neti, neti, tattvamasi. Not this, not this. I am that. Dasi Budrani said this also in the call, the beginning. What did Dasi say? Neti, neti, tattvamasi. Are we able to reach that state? My dear friends, the purpose of life is consciousness. To reach that state of divine consciousness. In that consciousness, my friends, everything is available. In that state of consciousness, we experience that we are not, I am not I am SIP. I am the supreme immortal power. I experience that me and you, we are not two. I experience me and you, we are not two. When I know we are one, then the battle of life is one. We are all one. We are all part of that one supreme immortal power. Are we able to reach, when we reach that state of consciousness, you're free. Otherwise, what are we doing? We are living with worry and hate and revenge and jealousy and worry and stress and anxiety and anger and depression and suicidal thoughts. Why? Because we don't realize it's just a show. It is just a show. We are going to go. Anybody denies today, tomorrow, maybe tomorrow I'm not on this call. You come on the call tomorrow and I'm telling tomorrow we will talk on this, Vijay, about your happiness. I'm not here tomorrow. I'm gone. Everybody who is born has to be gone. It may be Bharat or it may be John. Everybody has to be gone. What are we trying to prove? What are we trying to collect? We are running race to be millionaires, billionaires. What are you going to do with all the money? The richest man in the world, he died. What happened to his money? His legal heirs blew it up with Ferraris and villas. All the money was blown up. That's why you look back at the last 100, 200 years. You remember who was the multimillionaire, who was the richest man in the world 200 years back? Nobody remembers the name. The richest men in the world are dead and gone. They are forgotten. Because that is not the true riches of life. People think wealth is equal to money. Sorry. Wrong. So, my dear friends, I'm opening back this for next 10 minutes. I'm throwing it back to you. The purpose of life is whatever you all said. Of course, the purpose of life is moksha, nirvana, liberation, unification, freedom from rebirth, freedom from suffering, happiness, realization. All these are the answers. But to me, you have to work on a simple purpose to reach that state of consciousness. The state of consciousness where there is Sat, Chit, Anand. Let us try to be in that state of consciousness. Administrator, let us start question answers. Ashok Nichani. Ashok Nichani, you have a question?
Sirji, Shivam Sirji.
Shivam, sir.
The purpose of life. I have 2-3 other points to add.
Please add.
To become a servant of the divine and serve the poor who are in need, rather than looking into my requirements.
This is a good beginner's purpose, Ashok, because there are no others. You are saying others. There are no others.
Okay.
You and me are one.
One.
There is no others. Try to realize that when the moment we say others, there's duality. There is no duality.
Serve the needy. Yeah.
You and me, we're all one.
One.
So the realization, and when you want to serve others, again serve others. No.
Not others. Serve the needy.
Serve the needy. Serve the God. Serve the SIP. I want to serve the manifestation of SIP.
That will give me more happiness.
But Ashok, when you reach the state of Sat Chit Anand, then you are liberated from all these thoughts. Then you reach complete, you reach the divine bliss. How do you reach that state? How do you reach? That is the challenge. When you reach that state of divine bliss, nobody can steal your happiness.
Very true.
When you reach that stage, you don't need to do. Ashok, it's good to serve the poor. You know, we have 650 people whom we are serving dinner to tonight. We have 3 homes. I have delegated that work to people, and that work continues to happen. 3 homes, 650 people. But the point is 3 homes, 650 people. But the moment I say I am serving the poor, my ego comes alive. The moment my ego comes alive, I start to suffer. I am nothing. I do nothing. Everything is done by the divine.
Divine.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Vijay, yes, thank you. Vijay wants to ask a question. And Dasi has a type question. Vijay, I can't hear you. Unmute, please.
What you said is said in the Upanishad, away from the chatter of the senses and from the restless wandering of the mind, there is a quiet pool of stillness. The wise call this stillness the highest state of being. It is the place where we find unity, never to be separate again.
Amazing.
That is the Upanishad.
Amazing, amazing. But you relate to what we are talking about, right? What you said.
That's exactly what you said. State of being, state of consciousness.
How can we be in that state? How can we reach that state of being?
See, I believe very much that it is when the mind is still, the whole universe surrenders.
Absolutely.
When mind is still, we are in commune with the universal mind. The Bhagavad Gita says that the self is both inside and outside the body, just as the image is both inside and outside the mirror. So we are in this soup of consciousness. When we still, we get our answers. This is my belief, and this is my experience.
Absolutely. So let us realize the purpose. This is the purpose, to be in that state of stillness, in that state of being. Dasi asks the question. Thank you, Vijay. Thank you for that. Amazing reading. It's good when somebody comes, like Vijay brought, sometimes you all bring a small thing like this to the group. It adds a lot of value. Dasi, therefore, one should be in state of consciousness all the time. Dasi, that is the ideal being, Dasi, to be in the state of consciousness all the time. But can we be? The question, Dasi, is, can we be in that state? The answer is we can't. Why the answer is we can't? Because as long as we are alive, the mind and ego me is alive. The question is, can we tame this fellow? Which fellow? The me. Can we make him a tame from a monkey to a monk? Can we cut the tail? Can we make it still? And this is the goal, Dasi. Now, you may not be able to be in the consciousness 24 hours a day, but maybe you can be in the consciousness 18 hours a day. There will be, let me give you a practical example, Dasi. Suppose you're in consciousness and you're doing your work. Somebody comes and steals your consciousness and you get upset. Now, you getting upset is human. But if you are able to come back to the state of consciousness in a moment, then you're a master. Slowly and steadily, Dasi, you will reach a state where you will not lose your peace of mind. You will not lose that state of calm. Nobody will be able to shake you up. That is a state of Sat Chit Anand. Now, what you just said, remember you said that it's a show. You said it, it's just a show, we come and we go. Then the question, Dasi, is if it's a show and we come and go and nothing is ours, then why should we get upset? There's no reason to get upset. But we get upset. We get upset because of the rascal mind and the foolish ego. We get upset. Me becomes angry. And Dasi, the me becomes angry. What does it do? It steals our peace. We don't like it. We don't like to get angry. But when we get angry, we lose our peace. Then we try to bring it back.
But Ravi, is it all right to be harsh to oneself?
You don't need to be hard. Dasi, when you reach that state of consciousness, when you reach that state of realization, you will laugh. There is no need to be hard to anybody. Because there is nobody other than you. You are manifesting. The soul is manifesting as Dasi. The soul is manifesting as AiR. The soul is manifesting as Vijay. It is the same soul. What is the point of getting upset? Dasi, at the end of the day, we have to pack up. We have to pack our bags and we have to go. Then what is the big deal of getting upset? You agree? I mean, this is practical. You understand what I'm saying?
You're right.
But we get
You're
upset. Right. But we get irritated. We get angry. We get upset. Dasi, the question is why? For what? So this is the purpose. To reach that state of stillness. To reach that state of consciousness. Where Sat Chit Anand means Chit, consciousness of Sat, the truth, leads to Ananda, leads to Nirvana, leads to that state. We need the consciousness, the realization. Thank you, Dasi. Prakash Kulkarni, thank you. Considering the verse of Ramanujacharya, is it possible? Now, Ramanujacharya and Madhavacharya, they talk of Dvaita and Vishisht Advaita. So we can't touch the subject now, my dear Prakash Kulkarni, because we go by what Shankaracharya says. We go by Shankaracharya, and Shankaracharya talks about Advaita. Advaita means non-duality. The moment you bring in Ramanujacharya and Madhavacharya, you're going into Dvaita. You're going into duality. Next question from Mohit. Pranam. Many times people understand that the journey of enlightenment is to become without karma. Absolutely, Mohit. The question here, Mohit, is this. As long as you do karma, no, Mohit, you have to come back to earth. It may be good or bad karma. It doesn't matter. What many people think in this world, if I do good karma, I will realize God. I will be liberated. Ashok Maheshwari, pay attention. By doing good karma, you will not realize God. You will not get moksha and enlightenment. Mohit, good karma will only give you a good future life. The moment there is karma, you are planting a seed. And if you plant a seed, there will be a fruit. What is the way to enlightenment, liberation, moksha, nirvana? The way is to transcend karma, is to realize it is not my karma. What Dasi said, ego, body, and mind. The karma belongs to the mind, ego that comes in a body. I am none of these. I am not the body that will die. I am not the mind and ego that carries karma and returns to earth in a rebirth. In fact, Mohit, you brought about one more major purpose of life. To be liberated from all karma. What is this liberation of all karma? It is realization. What is this realization? I am not the doer. I am not the karta and the bhokta. I am neither the karta nor am I the bhokta. I am the Atma. I am the Atma. I am the Ruh. Ruh means soul. I am that energy. And the moment we realize this, then we have achieved the purpose of life. Thank you, Mohit. Interesting question. Yes, Rekha.
My purpose at present is to kill my mind so that I realize neti neti.
Yeah.
And my husband wanted to know, is there any proof of rebirth? I told him, we are the proof, right?
Obviously, no. Why did you come to Earth?
Yeah.
So
told him that.
your answer is very simple. But if you read the book Rebirth, it gives you 10 tenets. It tells you there is 10, maybe one day, one of these days, I will take up this as a subject. It gives you 10 clear points. Please read the last page of the book Rebirth. It tells you 10 points where it will clearly explain to you that rebirth is a scientific reality. It is no doubt. It is just like the law of gravity. Nobody can deny the law of gravity. Nobody can deny rebirth. Thank you, Rekha.
Thank
Jyoti
you.
says, we are not the doer, not the observer. We are the soul. Please tell me the difference between soul, observer, and consciousness. Jyotri, the soul is that power of life in you that makes you the observer and creates the consciousness. That soul is that power in you that arrives at birth and departs at death. It is the soul, it is the power in you, the life power, that creates consciousness and makes you the observer. If you listen to my answer carefully, you will understand I have answered your question. Thank you, Jyotri. Dasi has one more question. No, Dasi's question is over. Have I missed anything? I thought there were more questions. My dear friends, so you saw today, we had a very interesting discussion on such a simple, even a child in 4th standard, you can ask the question, what is the purpose of life? And the child in 4th standard will tell you the purpose of life is to come first in class. If you ask a 14-year-old or 15-year-old boy, what is the purpose of life? He'll say, my purpose of life is to get that girl my girlfriend in the next house. I want her to love me. 14-year-old man who's the first time he's falling in love. The purpose of that little boy is to get the girl. You ask that guy who's finished college, he'll say the purpose of life is to get into my dream job. You ask somebody who's got a dream job, what's the purpose of life? He'll say the purpose of life is to become a millionaire. You ask a millionaire, what's the purpose of life? He'll say the purpose of life is to become a billionaire. Everybody thinks they know the purpose of life, but we don't realize that soon we have to pack. We have to pack our bags and we have to go. Mohit says, even I am not the soul. Even I am not the soul. I am pure bliss and consciousness. Is it right? Essentially, the soul, the bliss, the consciousness are all manifestations of the one. You do not. It's just like the ring saying in the gold shop, I am not the bracelet. I am not the keychain. I am not the kara. Mohit, the ring, the bracelet, the chain, all are made of gold. Everything is a manifestation. So my dear friends, today's discussion was very good. And tomorrow we will have part B. Part B of the similar discussion, completely different. But there are two parallel lines. One, what is the purpose of life? I hope I have enough food for thought. Rumataji, you have enough food for thought? What is the purpose of your life? Did you pick up the right answers? I hope you did. The purpose of life is to be in that state of divine consciousness.
Yes, Guruji.
And if you are in that state of consciousness, you have attained everything. And tomorrow we will drive down the similar path, but we will take Vijay's key of happiness. Tomorrow's similar subject, but we will take a route, another route, and try to have a blissful evening. Some people think sitting and having a glass of wine or a glass of beer from 8 to 8:30 can give them joy. But only those who are on a call like this understand the bliss and the ananda that comes from a call like this. I bow down to you. I bow down to you.